What's good, y'all? Welcome to episode 5 of Marshals Law on Shady Sports Network. I'm your host, C. Green, and on today's episode, we'll be joined by the Rapid City Marshals dance coach, Coach Marissa Crawford. Coach Crawford is a talented and dedicated individual who has been an integral part of the Rapid City Marshals from the very beginning. She started her journey with the team as a dancer and quickly rose to the position of head dance coach. Coach Crawford's involvement with the team spans across different ownerships, providing her with a unique perspective on the transition from the CIF to the AFL. Her experience allows her to offer valuable insights into the growth and development of the organization from its inception to its current state. Marissa's passion for dance and her commitment to the team make her an exceptional coach and a valuable asset to the Rapid City Marshals. But first, I gotta shout out the team's official partner, WeatherTight. Stay protected, rain or shine. Welcome back. Thanks for joining us, Coach Crawford. How's it going?
Good. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Definitely. I'm excited to have you on as well. So I figured we could kind of just jump right into it. I don't want to hold you any longer than we have to. Does that sound good?
Yep, sounds good to me.
Perfect. All right, so before joining the Rapid City Marshals, what was your background and experience in the dance industry?
Yeah, so I started dancing in 3rd grade with a local dance team called the Hot Shots Dance Team. I think I did that until about 8th grade, and then I danced competitively and did like performance where we do like basketball games and football games at Central High School my freshman through my senior year, and then I was a captain my senior year. When I graduated, I danced for Black Hills State, and then I danced for the Rapid City Rush hockey team here in town. And then I moved on to coach all-star cheerleading at Rushmore Athletics here in town in 2021. Danced for the Marshals in 2022, and then I started coaching competitive and performance dance at Central in 2022 as well.
Okay, wow. So you kind of like, you've been there. You've seen it not just since the beginning of the Marshals, but you've been there your entire life.
Yes, pretty much, yep.
Okay, so cool. I mean, so you know how it was. I mean, because you guys had other teams before, the Marshals. So you've seen what it was. You've seen what it's become. Speaking of the Marshals, though, can you just kind of talk about the difference in the Marshals organization between the first ownership group, and then with the current owners, Rebecca and Wes?
Yeah, absolutely. So the first year was we did tryouts. We had all these things, like this, it sounded great. It was going to be like, a great time. Everything was going to be awesome. And it was going good. And then, it was like we were promised this and promised that. And it was just never like gone through with. When Wes and Rebecca stepped in, so there at the end of the season, there was, I believe it was 3 games that the previous ownerships hadn't paid us for. So as a team, and like when we do this, like we do it because we enjoy doing it. It's not we do it for the paycheck. That's not what any of
Yeah.
us are here for. So it was just 3 games that they had just collectively not paid us for. So as a team, we just decided, like, we're just going to sit this one out because, like, people enjoy seeing us. It's, exciting for the fans for us to be there. We have a good time, but, like, you can't tell us you're going to do something and then not. So the game that we ended up sitting out of was the first time Wes and Rebecca had been there. And they ended up, even though they hadn't taken over ownership or anything, just in good fortune to make sure that the team was like that. Because we didn't know if there was going to be a team since they stopped paying. We were like, I don't know how this season's going to go. Like, are we going to be here next year? Wes and Rebecca came in and they ended up paying us for the games that we hadn't gotten paid for, even though they hadn't even take over ownership or anything like that. Just as like, hey, like, we're here. We want this to be a good year. Like, we want this to be awesome. We want you to be here. Here's just like good faith. We'll pay you for these games that you hadn't been at. So that was really nice. So I guess like it's very similar because it's like they both promise, the world, and they promise this and they promise that. But the difference is Wes and Rebecca go through with what they promise and what they want. And like, that's the biggest difference between the two ownerships that I've noticed.
No, definitely. And I mean, with pay, I mean, like you said, you're not in it for the pay, but at the same time, you're still a professional sport. You're still, a professional dance team. You need to be compensated, for your talents and your entertainment. So,
Yeah.
that actually, I guess, kind of ties into my next question. I was going to ask, what are some things that they changed or did right away, to keep the organization together? But it sounds like they came out of pocket and paid you guys even before they took over. Was there any other things maybe that you can think of, that they may have done as well?
I think just like their presence in general. So like when Wes and Rebecca got here, I think at first everyone was kind of like, just like I was saying, they're like, oh, this season's going to be awesome. This season's going to be great. And we're like, we heard that. And like, here we are.
Mm-hmm.
And from day one, they have truly like, they're big dreamers and they want everything to be big and great and phenomenal. And they're going to do what they can to make that happen. So I think like just from the start, with not even them paying us, but like the things that they said were going to happen versus it was like immediate change. Like, the second they said something, it was like they were on the ball to do it. So I think just them being able to make promises and have these big dreams and follow through on them also really helped everyone to kind of be like, oh, okay, this is going to be a great year. And I think everyone was a little bit more willing, to be there and to do what we were there to do.
Definitely. And I mean, and I can kind of see it, you guys have kind of made that transition and, kind of evolving, since they've gotten there, not just the team or the organization, but also you, because you started off as a dancer in that first year, correct?
Yep.
Can you talk about, your journey, your experience, maybe transitioning from being a dancer to, having to take over as the dance coach? I know you coach in other aspects, but just pertaining to the Marshals, how that went?
Yeah. So the first year, I didn't even anticipate trying out the first year. Like, it was something that I was interested in, but they held tryouts at Rushmore Athletics. And at that time, I was like, it was just on like a Saturday or a Sunday, I don't remember. So they needed someone to be at the gym while they were holding tryouts. And I was like, well, I'll go there. I have nothing to do. So I went there and I was just kind of like lingering around and I was like, I'll just learn the dance for fun. Like, I'm here not doing anything. So did that. And then I was like, okay, I'm just going to try out. Tried out and then made the team that way. So then of course I was committed. I was like all in. I was like, okay, this is great. I'm going to have a good time. It was a blast. We had a great season as a team collectively. It was a great group of girls the first time. And then it was like October, the season that got over, it was like, I think like October, November, Megan, the first coach, just texted me and she said, hey, I don't think I'm going to have time to be able to coach this year. I'm recommending you to coach. And I was like, okay, sounds good. Like, I'm all for it. That sounds good to me. And a couple weeks later, me and Wes got a hold of each other. We had a meeting, and then a couple weeks after that, we had tryouts for the next season. We ended up having like 50 people at tryouts for the next
Oh
season.
wow.
So it was awesome. Yeah, it was really cool, and it was a great time. But yeah, it was just kind of just here. I'm recommending you. I was like, okay, cool, sounds good.
That's cool. I mean, I don't even, I just met you, but I can kind of see why you're just like, yeah, okay, well, let's go. I'll
Yeah,
take it.
try
And
it.
then, I mean, just after, talking to Wes too, I can kind of see how that meshed together too, because that's kind of his attitude too. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
let's just get it done. Let's just go. I'm about that. So that's really cool. Speaking of transitions, with the transition from the CIF to the AFL, how has that been for the dance team?
Yeah, so we it hasn't been like a huge difference for us, like any, challenges or anything like that. It's really just been more exciting than anything.
Okay.
With it being like bigger and better, it's kind of like it feels like there's more pressure. But last year, I feel like we did like great as a dance team, and a lot of people came up and told us, like you guys are awesome, you did wonderful, like we enjoy watching your performances. So I think with like having bigger, better stage and fans and presence, then it'll just be that will be, I guess, the most like challenging part, I would say, is just like exceeding the expectations that we did last year. But
Okay.
otherwise, it seems great. Like, we're really excited. It seems like it's going to be awesome to have that transition to the AFL. So we're all pretty excited about that.
Yeah, nothing really different, right? You're just gonna go out there and do what you guys do anyway, right?
Exactly. Yep.
Hey, I
Exactly.
mean, that's how it has to be all around. It kind of feels like that same energy all around with the, the coaches too as well. So,
Yeah.
speaking of that, but like you said, it is on a larger stage. I mean, I don't know what I can announce about, TV networks or anything, but I mean, from what I'm hearing, there are plans for some games to definitely be on a larger stage. And with that, how do you plan to maybe elevate the performance to step it up for those games?
Yeah. So, last year it was like my first time not like choreographing, because I just, sit at home sometimes bored and I just make up dances and whatever. So, but like choreographing for an actual team. So I feel like there was like trial and error and a whole bunch of different like mistakes and experiences. But I feel like that's the best way you can grow and learn and do things better. So at the end of the year last year, we had the halftime performance was just us. It was 15 minutes. We did a Top Gun theme routine. It was really cool. We had so many comments on how like great it was. So I think to be able to do for Wes to give us the opportunity to do something like that at the end, where it was just us for 15 minutes and we just had to like put on this show, this production. I think that really helped kind of transition, because it was like that's what we ended the year with. So now we have that knowledge and experience to be able to make things better and bigger and more extravagant.
There you go. Nice. Well, I'm excited to see what you guys are coming with this season for sure. So just to kind of change things a little bit over, how does your dance team actively engage in the community? I mean, it sounds like you did get involved. You said you had 50 people at your first trial. So,
Yeah.
I mean, what are some examples, or can you share some examples, of your community involvement?
Yeah. So, as a team, the last couple years, we've done like the mini kids camps and stuff. So we have kids from the ages of 4 to 18 be able to come learn a routine and perform it at halftime with us. That gets quite a few people, so that's really cool. We have people already asking like the day that it was over last year, like, are you guys gonna do it again next year? So it's really nice to be able to have that. Outside of that, we try to, I mean, anything that people want us to go to, we try our best to go to. We have like watch parties for the team whenever they're away last year. So that was something that we were attending.
Okay.
And then individually, we have so many different like community things that we do. So like on my dance team, I have business owners, I have teachers, I have military, I have moms, I have, just a variety of different people. So individually, all of the girls do a great job at like getting out in the community and being involved in the community and doing stuff. So I think that also really helps, not with just like tryouts and stuff like that, but also with getting people to the stadium to watch the games. I think that's a big thing, when they're well known around here because they do things with the community, then that way people want to come watch and support.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Because I mean, especially I mean with your team, you guys are more on a community level,
Yeah.
with how it's functioned. I mean, everybody within the team, I guess aside from mainly the players and coaches, are from the community within the communities, and like yourself, kind of grew up around there, maybe live around there, right now. So
Yep.
that is very
Yeah.
true. Um, Shoot, I mean, I guess you said you kind of touched on it, but what are some key qualities or skills that you look for in your dancers?
I think the biggest things that we kind of watch for, obviously, like, your basic dance things, rhythm, if they know things. The main thing that we're looking for this year, which is kind of hard to explain how you look for it, but like dedication is like a huge thing to me. So like for an example, I had a girl last year, she tried out, she didn't make the team, but I always tell people, like just because you didn't make it this year doesn't mean there's not a possibility to make it next year. Like, just keep practicing, working on it. I'd love to see you at tryouts next year. I only had one girl come who was from last year. She came this year. She improved so much, and like just that just shows dedication, to be told no, but then also to come back and try again. So I think dedication, and then just like obviously like your key elements of dance are two really big things. And that girl ended up making it this year, and that was like one of the main reasons, was because you could tell she practiced, and she really obviously wanted it if she's going to show up again after being told no. So that's something too that we like to look for.
There you go. Um, I guess that kind of ties into it. I was gonna ask, what's some advice you would give to aspiring dancers or entertainers who are looking to pursue a similar path, or if a path directly with the Marshals with you guys.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me specifically, I don't like to take no for an answer. So kind of the same as that last girl, like if you want something, my dad was really big growing up on, if you want something, go for it. The worst they can say is no. And that's what I always just take into my mind, is the worst they can say is no, and then you just got to keep trying. So I think
Hmm.
that's the number one thing for to answer that question, is just, keep trying and practice and work for it and work hard. And if you hear no, you just got to keep trying. And that's just something, like I said, I've always grew up with. My dad drilled that into my head. So that's something that I've always done in my life.
Okay. There you go. You got to keep, I mean, that's in everything, not even just dance. You got to keep trying regardless,
Yep.
especially if it's something that you really want. So,
Yeah.
that's really great advice. Um, how do you foster a positive and supportive team environment amongst the dancers to ensure their growth and development?
So I think this is kind of just all around, whether it's at Central where I coach or whether it's on the Marshals. I think creating like a family environment is super important. So I think, um, like, uh, my AD has this great saying, and it's sometimes the best practice is no practice. And I think that that is so important, because if you have like team bonding, or your friends outside, it makes you closer and it makes you want to work harder for that common goal that you want. So like all of our girls on the Marshals, we hang out together outside before the game. Every single day before the game, we get lunch together right before we go warm up, and just do things together. We go to each other's kids' birthday parties, stuff like that. So we try to create like a family environment. That way, it's like mutual respect amongst not just me and them, because like I like to treat it as like we're just one, because if it's I'm the coach, that means like you're gonna listen to me. I think it's a very team thing. So like, you have a suggestion, I'd love to hear it. It's just a mutual respect thing. And I think that in all aspects of life, not just like the dance team, I think that's something that's super important, because that helps create those relationships to where you do want to work hard and you do want to be better and do as good as you can to reach the same goal.
Definitely, definitely. Um, I guess I just got one more question. Are there any upcoming events or performances that the Rapid City Marshals dance team will be participating in that the community should look forward to?
Um, as of right now, so we just started practices last week, so we're really learning that we practice once a week, so that gives us 10 practices before our first game. So we're just really trying to learn. We got about, I don't know, 8 to 10 sidelines routines and another 10 halftime routines that we have to learn in those 10 practices. So I think right now the biggest thing we're going to be doing is focusing on practices. If anybody wants us to come do anything, I mean, we are always more than willing to. We have the Black Hills Youth Football League last year reached out for us to help judge their cheer competition. There was a cheer competition locally in town that asked us to perform at that, but unfortunately we didn't have a team yet because it was at the very end of our season, right before tryouts. So anything like that, we would love to be able to do. And so as of right now, we're focusing on practices and trying to get ready for that AFL stage and go from there.
There you go. Are your practices open to public or no?
Just private practices right now.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
Any last words before we let you go, Marissa?
I don't think so. I appreciate you guys having me on here, and thank you so much.
Definitely. Thank you for your time. Thank you for coming on. Always a pleasure to have you on, or have one of you guys from your organization on. So, feel free to come back whenever, and I'm sure we'll be bugging you as we get closer to the season.
That works for me. I never mind.
There we go. Well, you have a great day, Marissa.
Thank you so much. You too.
Thank you. Hey guys. There we go. We got some great conversation with Coach Crawford, coach of the dance team, so you can go and check that out. Next, we're gonna have the question of the week answer from last week. Thanks for joining me, guys, on another amazing episode of Marshals Law. Again, thanks to Coach Crawford for joining us, as well as the entire Rapid City Marshals organization for rocking with us over here at Shady Sports Network. You can head over to marshallsfootball.com to get the schedule and purchase season tickets. You can also use our code SHADY10 for a discount on those already amazing prices. Or you can stop over at arenafootballusa.com for all the Arena Football League updates, as well as the full league schedule. Or you can just come over to our website, shadysportsnetwork.com, your gateway to endless excitement and exclusive content. Don't forget to follow, like, and subscribe for updates. Have a great day.
I'm a game changer. I'm a game changer. I'm a game changer. I'm a game changer.